Next question. Jocko Echo, how do you work with people who overthink things?
The classic overthinker.
What does that mean, though, overthink?
It means they won't pick up this pen right here because they look at it and say, I wonder what the weight of that pen is and if I should pick it up right now because I'm also thinking about saying something. And what if I drop the pen while I'm trying to say something that makes a noise on the desk that disrupts the flow of my sentence? And then the whole flow of my sentence is disrupted, which means my train of thought will be disrupted. Now I can't finish what I was going to say. That's an overthinker. So that's the person we're trying to... Now you can just imagine applying that thought pattern to an actual project that you're working on.
Right.
Not a good scenario. Or you're trying to apply it to a combat situation that you're in. Or you're trying to apply it to a relationship that you're in. Mm-hmm. You start overthinking, well, if I say this, then she might think that.
Right. Yeah. What they mean by that there, that little look.
What they mean by that.
Yes. Dang. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
That's an overthinker.
Right.
So quit thinking so much. You're overthinking it. So here's what I do when someone's overthinking. When I got someone that's like a chronic overthinker, I'm gonna funnel them into the right mindset with questions, and I'll give you some real easy questions to ask that'll make this happen. Things like, hey, what do you mean by that? Or like, can you explain that again? And you're getting them to explain it in a simpler way. Or you say, hey, so hold on. So what's the actual goal? What are we trying to get done here? Because again, they're putting layers upon layers of complexity on top of things that don't deserve it. So what exactly are we trying to do? Mm-hmm. And again, you're just kind of playing dumb a little bit and asking questions. And then if you can't get to them, if you can't quite get them to simplify it, then you say, oh, okay, so we're trying to do this. Right. Very simple statement. So that way they start subconsciously being coached and being taught to simplify things as much as they can in their head. And, another thing I've been saying lately when I'm out working with people is I used to not really understand why people are drawn to this complexity, but I actually think I understand now. And I think it has something to do with the fact that if I come up with a plan and it's super complex and super crazy and you don't understand it, then I must be smarter than you, right?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I came up with something that's so genius and so complicated that you don't even understand it.
Right. I understand it.
I understand it,
the guy
but you don't.
Doing it. Right.
And by the way, the only way you're going to understand it is if I break it down for you because you don't get it.
Yep.
So it's an ego trip. And it's completely wrong. Because the fact of the matter is, if I'm trying to get you to do something and you don't understand it, I'm a loser. I'm failing as a leader. So you got to try and get people to understand that simplicity beats complexity every single time. And overthinking things is a failure in ability to simplify. So another thing, and this is more kind of about planning, and this is something I used to talk about in the SEAL teams, and I called it 6% advantage over the enemy. And what this was, let's say you have a target building that you're going off of, or going after. You're going to go take down a target building in the middle of wherever, the middle of the desert. And you basically come up with a plan that you're going to use your standard operating procedures. You're all going to get online, or you're going to at least set up a base and a maneuver element. It's very simple. 2 elements. One element's going to hold cover, and the other one's going to move through the target. Cover and move. It's as simple as it gets. That's great. So you come up with a plan. That's your plan. And then as you're looking at the imagery or you're looking at the map, you notice that there is an outhouse 150 meters away from the house. So now what you do is you go, you know what? Because there's that outhouse there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another team of our guys. We're going to break them off from the main assault force. We're going to put them over there. And that's what they're going to be in case the guy's in the outhouse, blah, blah, blah. So what you've done is you've separated your units. You've increased your communication problems. You've sacrificed your fields of fire. You've disaggregated your firepower. You've diminished your unity of command. You've broke from your standard operating procedures. You've given up your real tactical advantage that you have for the chance that this guy at 2:00 in the morning when you hit the target is in the outhouse and not in his home? Is it worth that? No. So don't overthink it. We're hitting this target. You know what? Cool. We'll keep eyes on that thing. No big deal. But don't give up your tactical advantage because you overthought the situation. Go with what you know. And another piece of that is a lot of times when people get super detailed like that in planning, they're actually planning on things that can't be known. So why would we make a plan for something that can't be known? I got a better idea. Instead of making a plan for something that can't be known, make a plan that's adaptable. You want your plan to be adaptable. And you know how you have the best adaptability, for instance, on the battlefield, that you have the most control over your guys so that you can maneuver them quickly. And how do you do that? By having good unity of command. And how do you do that? By keeping your guys, for the most part, together. The minute you start spreading them out all over the place and something changes, something unknown, that unexpected happens, now you got to reel everyone back in and try and get them to change the formation of their assault. It becomes very, very complex. So if you set up your plan so that it's adaptable to changing situations, then you're going to be good to go. Same thing in business. Do you know what the market's going to do? No. We have predictors, yes. Do we know them? No. Do you know what your competitor is going to do? No. Do you know what your consumers are going to do? No. Do we have intelligence? Of course we do. Do we have metrics? Of course we do. But we don't know things. So keep your plans adaptable so you can make adjustments when you need to, as opposed to overthinking things and creating specific branch plans for a possibility of something that might occur in the future or might not. Don't overthink it, people.
You know, sometimes people who underthink things, sometimes they tend to say, "Hey, why do you overthink things when you're just normally thinking about something, like you're thinking about something from a normal standpoint?"
Yeah, so there's obviously you have to think about things,
right? Yeah.
And yes, you should be cautious of someone that's just constantly saying, "Man, you're overthinking this."
Right.
I spent 3 minutes planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch out for that guy.
Yeah. That's why, when when overthinking comes up, I gotta understand what that means. But I feel like your example is sound.